Hello.
Good afternoon, Dr. Francis.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
Very well, sir.
All right, great.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. All right, are we set?
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon, Dr. Francis.
We are set, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. I can hear you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, as data analyst, what do we do as data analyst? What's your role as a data analyst?
We extract data.
Extract data.
We transform data.
Yes, you transform data. Basically, yes, analyze data.
We
process data so that it can be used as information.
So that's under the analysis, right? So basically, what you are trying to do is to just find out what has happened, isn't it? And why it has happened. Right? What has happened and why it has happened. What has happened is usually what we refer to as what? Descriptive analytics, isn't it? And why it has happened is what they refer to as what? Diagnostic analytics. Okay. So with that, we'll now use to build what? A report through what? Visualization, isn't it? We now visualize the data, right? So in form of what? Reports. Okay. But you see, in this your analysis part, if you remember our domain, right? If you remember the foundation of it, right? You have your what? Domain knowledge, isn't it? Domain knowledge driven by what? Math and statistics and what? Computer programming. Okay, and computer what? Programming. So first of all, your domain knowledge must be what? Sound first. Okay, but you also see as data analysts, right? As data analysts, you see you still need some elements of math and statistics with programming. Okay, so the statistics part and the programming part is what R is doing for you, because you have different tools you use to analyze, isn't it? Such as your R, your Python, isn't it? Your Excel. So this your R mostly is used for more advanced analytics, right? Remember again, your R is open source, okay? And moreover, where your tools, for example, like your eViews, your Starter, your SPS, now these are softwares for statistical analysis, okay? Unlike Python, Python is an open source and can be used for different aspects. It can be used for programming, web development, game development, right? Data science and the rest. But R is strictly for what? Data science, just data science or data analysis. Okay, it's just for data science or what data analysis. So what you see that why people, first of all, even when you learn your R, why still people still go to Python is in the sense that, for example, after building your machine learning model and you want to put it into production in terms of implementation, okay, Python will still have a little bit more advantage than R. Okay, but in terms of the analysis aspect, R has a lot of what capabilities, okay, because it's strictly for what analysis. That is its own specialty for what analysis. Okay, so we are going to be looking at the basics of R, right? So the first assumption we are making, is that we have foundation in statistics. That we have some foundation in what statistics. Can we make that assumption? Can we make that assumption? That we have some basic knowledge in statistics. At least you know how to do mean median mode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
When
Yes,
you
sir.
see like regression, you know how to run a regression. Correlation, yeah. You know how to do that. You understand what they mean, okay?
Yes, sir. Dr. Francis taught us.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now, there are other aspects again, especially when we talk about hypothesis. Hypothesis testing. Okay? So in that your hypothesis testing, then we can be talking about things like your t-test, z-test, and the rest. So all those are what? For core statistics. Okay? They are all for what? Core statistics. Okay? So R basically is simply for what? Statistical what? Programming. Okay? It's for statistical programming. Okay? So that's why when you come to your documentation, can you see your R documentation here? You also see a cheat sheet. Can you see your cheat sheet there? Yeah. So that's where it summarizes everything that you need. Everything that you will need. Okay. So once you just go to that your help, you see the R Studio documentation. Now take you to their website. Okay. Once you go to their website, you will see everything that you will need about it. Okay. So, but let us just start from the basics of R. And just like for those of us who joined us with Python or even any software, like even Excel, you must also have your what data type. Okay. But the most important thing you must understand that R is for what? Statistical what? Programming. Okay. It's for statistical what? Programming. For example, again, there are some things you would like to understand. For example, if I have different suppliers, right, supplying us products, okay, and we notice that, for example, if maybe we produce juice, right, and the suppliers who supply us the fruits, we notice that sometimes these fruits get bad on time, or sometimes they can affect the quality of the taste of the juice, isn't it? So you as a manager now, you are now checking, does it matter who I get the fruits from? Okay, does it matter who I get what the fruits from? Okay, so that is your what? Hypothesis, isn't it? That's your hypothesis. So what you want to do is to check if there's a significant difference, because as data analyst, in fact, when you're analyzing it in statistics, there are some analysis you want to do. You like to compare. Okay, you want to compare, right? You want to find out for differences. You want to compare and find out for what? Differences, isn't it? You want to find out what? Relationship. You want to look for what? Relationship. Okay. Also, you want to do some what? Prediction. Okay. So these are the basic things that you are trying to do. So in comparing, you are looking for differences. Okay. In comparing, you're looking for differences. You are looking for what? Relationship. Is there a relationship between these variables? And how can I what? Do what? Predictions. Okay, so these are the ways you are going to what? Be analyzing what? Data. Okay. And that thing again we are going to look at is that before you start typing anything, you must also understand your data types. Okay, your data types. In Excel, what are the data types you have in Excel? What are the data types you have in Excel?
Just
Value and text.
Yes, you have what? Numbers, so numeric, yes, numeric, yes.
string.
Then text. So text is what they call string. Text is what they refer to as what? String. Okay, strings.
String.
Right, strings. Okay. Now, how many of us here? This is the first time we are being introduced into programming. How many of us this is the first time we are introduced to anything programming, or this first time we are encountering program?
Well, for me, this is my first time.
Okay, this is your first time. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is your first time. Okay. Now, why I'm asking this is that sometimes I don't usually advise people to learn R first. Do you get? Because R can be very scary. Not that it's scary per se, but it does not look very user friendly, unlike if you start learning with Python. Okay. So normally the route we normally take, first of all, after we are done with Excel, the first introduction to programming will be what? SQL. Okay. So once you get used to it a bit, then before we can start looking at what? Python, right? Then we look at what? R. Because everything I'm going to be explaining is in line with what? Excel. So everything you do in Excel is the same thing we are doing here. But what is the reason why we have to migrate to these other tools? Excel would have been an excellent tool to do everything. Okay. But the major challenge you have with Excel is what? What's the major challenge you have with Excel?
The size of the data.
And
volume. Yes, the limitation in the data. Is it in the size of data?
Yes.
Okay. So hence the need to move to other tools. But if it is a small data, right, the transactions that come in are not so large in that sense, Excel is still a wonderful tool. Okay, Excel is still what? A wonderful tool. All right. So what we are going to do, we need to understand the data type, right? But another important part is that, take note, R is extremely case sensitive. When they say case sensitive, look at what I mean by case sensitive. If I write Francis and Francis, are they the same thing? Francis and Francis, are they the same thing?
No.
Ordinarily they have.
Capital.
Okay.
Ordinarily they are the same thing, but to her it might be something else.
As a human being, to use the same person as you know they are talking about. So R is extremely case sensitive. So to avoid any problem, please, this is not essay that you have to start capitalizing and write. Just write everything lowercase. Do you get? So that you avoid any problem. Just write everything lowercase, unless some situation that arise that maybe one is capital letter F and that one is small f, because to R they are not the same thing. Okay, so take note, it is extremely what? Case sensitive. So whatever code you are going to be writing, we are going to write our code here, right? So we'll write the code here and the result will be here. Okay, we'll write the code here, the result is going to be here. All right, good. So let's continue. Now, if I take a calculator, right? If you take a calculator and add 1 plus 1, what do you expect to have? 1 plus 1. What do you expect to have?
2.
2, is it not? Good. Which means that when we look at our data, some data we can classify them into two: the ones that are quantitative and the ones that are qualitative. Is that right? We have the ones that are quantitative and the ones that are what? Qualitative. Okay. And what differentiates a quantitative data from qualitative data? What differentiates quantitative data from qualitative data?
Quantitative can be
Quantitative.
measured.
Okay. For qualitative, you can only count.
You can only
But-
count.
Yes.
Okay. But
For quantitative, you can do other statistical measures on them.
beautiful. So you can carry out arithmetic operations.
Operation.
Okay. Because what you have mentioned is very important, and that's what will guide us in our analysis. So understanding the kind of data will determine how you are going to analyze that data. Okay. So it means that a numeric data, I can apply arithmetic operation. For example, I can have 1 plus 1. Okay. When you type now, you just highlight and run. Can you see run here? You will run it. Can you see the result here now? Can you see the result now?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Which means if I have 2 plus 2, what do I expect to have?
4.
4. I can highlight. So instead of you highlighting and clicking on run, I can press Control Enter. Control Enter. Control Enter is to run. Control Enter is to run. I can add. So for example, I can have 10 minus 2. What should I have? What should I have?
8.
8.
I will have 8. Can you see that? I will just run it. I'll just go to that line and run it. Can you see that? So the whatever code I write, I'll write it here. The result will come out here. Okay. So the same way, I can have 10 divided by 2. What will I have?
5.
5. I can have 10 raised to power 2. What will I have?
100.
100. Okay, 100. Okay. So these are the different kinds of what? So if I have 10 times 2, will give me what?
20.
20. Beautiful. So all these are some of the arithmetic operations we can carry out. Okay, so these are numeric. But we have strings. So whenever we have a string, for example, Francis, if I have Francis, so Francis will always put it in what? Quotation mark. Okay, if it's a string, for example, if I type Francis and I run it, you will notice that what does it tell you?
Francis not found.
Subject
Francis not
not
found. Francis not found. Okay. Now take note. Anytime you have an error, you should be happy. You know why you're happy? Because the moment you resolve that error, that is when you have learned something. If I am typing, you are typing, you are getting the result, you did not get one error, you have not learned. Okay? So the more errors you have, just try and see. Sometimes this error can be scary. You say, hey, they have come again. Oh, they have come again. Just copy the error. Just copy it. Go and dump on Google. It will take us to one website. Because we see, over time, as we have so many programming languages, right? We may be divided by programming languages, but we are united by what we call Stack Overflow. So Stack Overflow is where you will see all kinds of words, programming languages, you know, so people who have issues, they come there, some will have questions, some will provide the solutions, okay? So it means that once you start your programming journey, somebody has experienced this problem before. Somebody has asked this question before, okay? And the solution must be there. If you don't find solution, then you just go to church and pray for it. One day, the solution will come out. And that means again that your problem is more than Stack Overflow. Okay. So from beginner level to master level, those who are advanced people, please, and that's thing I want to mention. I know when we are watching American movies, you see hackers typing like this. If you want to, please, nobody types like that in real life. Oh. Nobody types that way. Okay. Most times, it's just for you to understand how the syntax works. I am not a programmer. I've never liked programming before. I've never liked it. Do you get? Because I used to wonder. So am I going to cram all the codes? That used to be. Is that not, I think that's your fear too now, isn't it? That how will I remember all these codes? Please, everything doesn't have to be in your head. It's just for you to watch. Once you sit down and read it, you understand what is in there. But over time, as you get used to it, it now becomes part of you. Okay? So I don't expect you to what? Cram code. Don't cram the code. Just understand how it works. Okay? Sometimes we type, I will get error. Okay, I'll now say, okay, it's not supposed to be this way. I'll now try the other way. But someone who have been using it for a long time, it now becomes part of you. Okay? So our focus is understanding on what we are doing and why we are doing it. Okay? Because anybody can just pick up the code and start putting it there. Okay? Because everything is what? Online. But it's just for you to understand why you are doing it. I hope that's clear.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Great. So it means that we need to first of all understand data type. Okay, so when it's a number, I will just type the number that way. But when it's a string, I will have to put it in what? Quotation mark. For example, Francis. Can you see Francis has appeared here now? So this is what? A string. Okay, if I use single quotation mark Francis and I run it, it's the same thing. Is that clear? So you can just type Francis is a boy. Then I run. Can you see that? They will put it in quotation mark. So anytime you see it in quotation mark, what does that tell you? What does that tell you?
The string.
A string or a text.
It's a string.
String or a text. Exactly. Okay, good. Now let's come back here. You see where we are typing 1 + 1, 2 + 2. Now, assuming I want to store it somewhere, I now say, okay, let me call it A. And I say A is equals to 1. A is equals to 1. So what am I doing? I'm doing what they call an assignment. I'm assigning it. Okay, it's called assignment. In Python, this is what we do in Python, isn't it? So it means if I have A is equals to 1 and B is equals to 2, right? And B is equals to 2, C is equals to A plus B. Isn't it? Let me run that. So if I run C, what do you expect me to have there? If I run C, what do you expect me to have? Eh?
We have 3.
You have 3, isn't it? So you see, first of all, on paper, you already have an idea of what it should be. Isn't it? Then that is what you will now compare when the results come out. Is it giving me what I expect? So you don't just jump into the programming first. You must first of all be clear on what you are trying to achieve. Is that okay? So if I run that now, I should have what? 3. So this is what is referred to as what? A variable. It's called what? A variable. And what is a variable? What is a variable? What is a variable?
I think a variable is a memory location that can take value.
Hey, memory location that can take value. Okay. In
They are
English
data
language,
items.
they are what?
They are data items
Okay, they are data items.
that we can assign.
Hey,
or
the one we learned in primary school is the one that can change, isn't it? Which means I can change this to what? 2, isn't it? So it means if I run C now, what should I have? If I run C now, what will I have?
4.
4.
I will have 4, right?
Yes.
But it's still giving me 3. Why?
Because you didn't run the change when you changed it.
I did not run what?
The B that you changed.
Yeah, so I need to run it first. So I run that first. That A is equals to 1. Is it not? If C is equals to A plus B, what is C? 4. Can you see that now? So we say a variable is something that can what? Change. You know, so I can put different values there and it's going to be what? Changing. Can you see that now? Then somebody gave us another technical definition. What did we say that a variable is? He said is what? Who mentioned
A memory location that can take values.
Memory what? Location that can change what? Values. Can you see that? So anything that is going to change, we store it somewhere and it's called a variable. Okay. And now, what is the data type in this variable? What is the data type in this variable?
Integer.
Is what?
Numeric. It's an integer, right? It's numeric.
Yes, it can be an integer. Yes. What again?
It can be a string.
It can be a string, isn't it? So, for example, I can say name is equals to what? Francis. So if I run that, so if I say name, what is name now? What is name?
It should be Francis.
It should be Francis. It's a string, it's a string. So it means that you need to understand your data type before you start doing anything. You must understand how it works. Okay, you must understand how it works. All right. Now, what if I say name plus A? Name plus A, will it work? Name plus A.
No.
No,
Will it work?
no,
It shouldn't work
that
Why?
types.
because there are two
Isn't that
different data
different?
types.
Because they are what?
There are two different data types.
There are two different data types. Okay, there are two different data types. Okay, there are two different data types. So let's run that and check. Now, can you see what it's telling you now? Error in name, is it not? So non-numeric argument to binary operator. So you understand what the problem is now, isn't it? But if I have, for example, first name, let's say first name, or let's say first name, let me do it somewhere. Let's say first name, Francis, isn't it? Let's say I have surname, Okoye. Can I run these two? Can I say first name plus surname? Will it work?
Yes, true.
I think so.
It can, it
Let's
should work.
try.
You think so? You think so? Now, if you were in Python, you see where these are small differences. If you're in Python, you would have seen it that way. But remember, R is statistical programming. So to R, you cannot add two texts that way. Okay, you cannot add what? Two texts that way. So you are thinking about it from a point of where? Analysis. If it was Python, this will run straight. Okay, but here, these are now the little differences you are going to be seeing. But otherwise, I would have said, for example, if I have A plus B, you know, normally I would have had what? If I have A plus B, it would have given me what? 4, isn't it? Now, in the same way, just like in Excel, you can have a function called sum. I can say sum of A, comma B. Can you see that? Sum of A, comma B. Let's run that and see. Can we see that we have the same thing? Can we see we have the same thing? Okay. So take notes. When we are analyzing it, we need, first of all, need to have at the back of our mind, what is the outcome? So once we understand, okay, this is what we are expecting to achieve. Now, the next question I will ask myself, what are the syntax that we need to achieve this? So that when you are learning on your own, you will know what to look out for, what to search for. In those days, when you see programming, most of this is a textbook, and the way they write them is such a technical level that if you are not in that field, it makes no sense, right? Because they will write it in such a technical way that, but in this day and age, everything now is online, but it's just for you to know what you are looking for. So first of all, you must know what you are trying to achieve. then the only thing you are going to do is go to Google and say how to do what in R or in Python or in SQL. Can you see that? Just say how to blah blah blah, whatever you want to do. How to add in R or how to. That's all you type in Google. That's all. Then you see the result. Look at the syntax. Okay, I understand the syntax now. What it is trying to achieve. Then I will now try to do it. Okay. So let's go on. I hope we're okay up to this point.
Yes, sir.
Are we okay up to this
Yes.
point?
I am.
Please follow, because
Yes,
if
yes.
you get to a point, you'll be wondering, when did we get to this level? From 1 plus 1, we are now going into data frames. You'll be wondering, are you sure it's the same thing I was following? So just understand what the basics. So are we clear with how to identify an integer, a string, and how to carry out the arithmetic operations?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Now let's do something else. Most times, you see, you may not be doing 1 plus 1 as sometimes you may use a small data, isn't it? You may have small data. It means that, for example, if I have A, now look at that. If I have A is equals to 10, you know I already have A before. So what it's doing is going to replace that previous 2 with what? 10. So that's why if I decide to say C now, if I run C now, okay, you remember that my C was what? A plus what? B, isn't it? This is what I will need to run again. So if I run C now, C will give me 12. You understand why? Okay. If you're in Python, Python would have just seen it automatically. But here you have to run that part again. Okay. Or again, you can just highlight them and run together. Then they will all run together. So which means if I have here as 20, I want to run everything together. I will run everything like this. Can you see that now? Now, instead of me saying C, I can say print. Print C. Print means what? Show me. Print is like saying show me. Okay? Print. I'm sure we have been seeing this. Normally we see something like print hello world. I'm sure we have seen this when we are learning. Have we seen this before?
Yes, sir. In
Hello
Python.
world. Yes, in Python or whatever this is, isn't it? Hello world. Okay, good. So you can also use print to also show. Okay. Now let's look at something else. If, for example, that's my A. Now there's another thing I want to explain again. You see, when we are doing assignments, so if I have A is equals to 10, that means I am assigning A to 10. But now look at this. And that way of assigning in R is to do this. A 10. This is also an assignment. So I can do it this way, or I can do it this way. Most time in R, this is what they normally use. It means I'm assigning to the left. What if I have 10 equals to B? 10 is equals to B. What am I doing here? 10 is equals to B. What does this one mean?
You're assigning to the right. Okay, it means that yes, you're assigning to the right.
What am I assigning? Am I assigning what? Am I assigning 10 to B or B to 10?
Yes.
10 to B.
Assigning B to 10. I don't know what the English will be now.
Yeah. I
think
don't
it's
know how
B.
you explain it, as long as you have an idea of what's happening. Okay. So are we assigning B to 10 or 10 to B?
10 to B.
10 to
Assigning
B.
10.
All right, let's run it and check. Now look at what it's saying. Do you understand the error? Do you understand the error?
Left-hand side.
Normally you assign to the left-hand side. Can you see that you assign to the left hand? And that means a variable cannot be a number. It can only be a string. Do we get that? So I cannot put 1 as a variable. It can only be what? A string. So which means if I have 10, let me assign it to the right. So 10 to B now. Okay, so let's run it now. Can we see that now? So if I run B now, what should I have? What should I have?
10.
10, isn't it? So it means this, what you are seeing here, means assign to the left. This one means assign to the right. Can we see that? So by
Dr.
default,
Francis, sorry, what
yes?
does the minus mean?
No, the minus is just like
Okay.
it's just like an arrow. Can you see the arrow that is going to the right?
Okay.
This is what I'm looking
Yes,
at. We are
yes.
going to the left.
Okay.
It means left assignment. In Python, you don't do this in Python. This is what you do in Python. Okay. Now let's look at it. If I run A is 10. If I run B is 10. If I say is A the same thing as B? Now this double equality means what? Equality sign. You know, in mathematics now, how would I have done it? We say A is equals to 10, is it not? B is equals to 10. So therefore, A is equals to B. This is how we write it normally, isn't it? But in programming, this is what we do. This is what? Equality. It means what? Equality. So we are checking. So is A equals to B? Is A equal to B? Is
Yes.
A equal to B? Is
Yes.
A equal to B?
Yes.
So it now gives you
Yes.
what? It now gives you what? A Boolean. True or false. So if I say B is 12, let me run it now. Is A equals to B?
No.
False.
It will give you false. So that's what they call a Boolean. So another data type is what? Boolean. Remember in Excel, we have Boolean. Isn't it true or false? So that's exactly what we have here. Are we clear with this now? So are we clear with assignment, and are we clear with equality sign?
Yes.
Great. I hope everybody were following. If you are not following, please speak up.
We are with you.
All right, because once you are not following, you just be lost. As when you don't say somebody is lost, you just be lost. So just speak up if you are not following. Okay, so let's go. So it means that I can also assign. So if I do this now, you understand what this one means now, right? You understand what it means. Now, for example, I want to add maybe I have, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just want one number. I want to have a range of numbers. A range of numbers, something like this. Okay. So for me to do this, if I run it this way, it's not going to work because you cannot just see. So what I'm trying to do, I need to combine it. So I'll use C. This is like saying combine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 together and assign it to what? A. Is that okay? So watch this. So if I run A now, what do I expect to see in A? What do you expect to see in A?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I should see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, isn't it? For example, if I have B, so I want to combine it. Maybe I have what do I have now? Let's say 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Can you see that now? If I run that now, or if I have C, now you can differentiate this C from this C, isn't it? This C here is what? This C is what?
Variable.
It's a variable. Why this one here is just a function? It's not. To help me what? Combine. So let's say I have 33, I have 34, I have let's say 35, 36, so maybe 37. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So let me run that. Okay. Now it means that if I have A, B, C, so if I have print A, if I have print B, or I have print C, and I want to run all of them together, I mean show me A, show me B, show me C. show me A, show me B, show me C. Can you see that? But you know, as analysts, right, we do not analyze data like this. We don't analyze data like this. We normally analyze in tables. We analyze it in what? Tables. So if I want to put it in a table, that means I want to join all of them, let it be in a single column. So I want to combine all of them in one column. I want to combine all of them in one column, just like a table, in one column, okay? So let's call it the variable data. Let's call the variable data. So I want to combine what? A, B, C in one column. Now, whenever you are coding, it is good that you do what we call commenting. You comment. So if I put hashtag, hashtag means what? Comment. That means you can run it. If I put A here, I put hashtag A, I run, nothing will happen. It's not going to run anything for me. Okay. So let me comment. So to combine all variables to a single column. Okay. I want to combine all the variables or all your data, let's say all your data, to a single column, just like you have in Excel. Okay. So if I was to combine that, we'll use what they call a data frame. Data frame. I'm sure we are, for those of us with Python, we are familiar with data frame in pandas, right? A data frame. Okay. So it's data.frame. All right. So if I want to combine it, what do I do? Remember, I will combine A, B, C. Does this make sense? Does this make any sense?
Yes, sir.
So it means that certain things you want to do, just like in Excel, you need a function. Now, these are their inbuilt word functions. Okay. Now, this we already understand what this one is doing, isn't it? Now, the only thing we are now introduced to is this data frame. So this data frame is what? A function. So data.frame, once I see data frame, can you see that data frame? Can you see the frame now? You read what it's about. Can you see that? Create data frame slightly coupled with collection of variables, which shares many of the properties of matrices and lists. Okay. So most times we see that when you are working in Excel, with Excel, it is straightforward. It's just like a table there. But you see, with programming, it doesn't understand table. It doesn't understand what a table is. What you understand is a matrix. So to a program, a matrix is what you will see as table. Because remember, matrix is made up of rows and what? Columns. Okay. So that's what it's doing there. So we're going to put it in form of what? A data frame. So let us run that. So if I type data, what do I expect to see now? If I run data now, what do I expect to see?
The matrix.
Matrix.
Columns.
Yes, any other
Numbers.
With the numbers inside.
The numbers in one column.
I think it will be a column matrix.
All right, let's run it and check.
Okay.
Now see what it has done. It just merged all the ABC and put all the values for me. Can you see that? On a single word column. So that's what that is doing. But what we want to do is to put it in form of a table, isn't it? Where we have A, B, C, and A we have this, is it not? B we have this, and C we have this. I think that's how we work as data analysts, right?
Yeah.
So if I was to do that, let me still run it in data, or do you want me to call it data one? Which one do you prefer, data or data one?
Data one.
Okay, data one. Okay. Okay, so what do I want to do? Data.frame. Data frame. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I want to combine them, but I'll combine them independently. Can you see that? So I want to combine them independently, right? Combine independently. So combine. Okay, independent. So let me put it A, B, C. A, B, C. That means what I'm trying to do here is to what? Combine. This is what? To combine in rows and columns. Now, sometimes you see when you are ever doing programming or coding, remember that at certain point you may not always be there. Or you may be working as a team and you are sharing your files, your codes. So somebody can follow what you have done. So it's best practice that while you are learning, always learn to what? Comment or document it, because documentation is very important. So let's run that and check. So let's run that. So if I call data one, can you see it now?
No.
Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Great. Now let me ask, what kind of table is this? What is this table called when it's in this structure? What is it called?
Matrix.
It's called what?
It's a matrix. Matrix.
No, no.
Matrix.
Is it a matrix?
Not necessarily a matrix. I'm looking at the table structure. Yeah? The structure of the table.
Zero by column.
Called what?
Zero by column.
No.
By default, it's row by column, but when the table is structured, just think about it in Excel. If your table is structured like this in Excel, what kind of table is that?
Oh, okay.
It's called what? It's something that we use every time in Excel.
Pivot table.
It's called what?
Pivot table.
Exactly. It's called what? A pivot table. It's referred to as what? A pivot table. So anytime we have the data like this, it's called what? A pivot table. Okay. But when we have it, for example, like this, we have something like this. The group. And the group, let's say the group is A, B, C. Or we can have A, B, B, C, C, C. And let's say maybe the values of the score. Let's say the score is, let's say for A now. So let's do it this way. You know, if I want to now transform it now, right? So I'll have something like this. A. Let's say I have B, which means what it's doing is that you're going to take here 1, 2, 3. Let's assume it takes to 5. And that one for B will take 11, 12, 13. So when we convert it from this table to this table, what is it called? When we convert it from this table to this table, what is it called?
Unpivoting.
It's called unpivoting. Unpivoting. Are we clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear? All right, can we make progress now? So you're going to see that.
I am wondering, Dr. Francis, if you want to arrange this ABC by column, I don't know. So you have, I don't know whether it makes sense or in terms of analysis, but just my curiosity.
Yeah.
If you're going to arrange it into transpose the matrix so that it looks like 3 by 5, 5 by 3. What is the syntax?
Okay, by matrix, right? So I think when we get to that, when we get to this thing, statistical part, we'll do that.
Okay, all right.
It's because we're just introducing, isn't it? We're just introducing you guys to.
Okay, all right.
We'll get there. Huh?
All right.
All right. So what we are going to see, all we have been learning before, whether it can be in Excel, in SQL, in Python, somehow you see still connected here. You may not write them in the same way, but you are trying to achieve exactly the same thing. So it's just for you to understand how is it done in R. Okay. So now what do we want to do? Now let us so what we have here, so this is, we are pivoting, isn't it? So this is to pivot. Okay. So move it to a pivot or table. Which means if I want to work on pivot. So if I want to on pivot, what I'm going to do, you see, when we have it this way, this is what they refer to as what? A stack. Is referred to as what? Is referred to as what? A stack. Okay. So that's why. So can I call it data 2 now?
Yeah.
Should I call it data 2 now?
Yeah, data 2.
It means that if I want to on pivot, if you're to on pivot in if you're to on pivot in Power Query, can you tell me how you did the Power Query? If you want to on pivot in Power Query, how you have done it in Power Query? How you on pivot in Power? If you're to do this in Power Query, how you have done it? So on pivot to move it from here to here. How you have done it? Yes.
I think we have selected a range of. We have selected the column or the range of column and go and say go and click on top on pivot. I think.
Yes. Okay. So I hope you remember how to on pivot in Power Query. Do we all know how to on pivot in Power Query?
All I know is in Python, not Power Query.
In Python, okay. Okay, Python. But do we not do it in Power Query to on pivot?
We did it that day, but I forgot to.
Okay, we did it that day. Remember when we converted the years to a single column, isn't it? In that data cleaning file.
Yes.
So look at how easy it is here. I'll just type stack. Stack of what? Data 1. That's all. And I'm done.
I need to do that again. I didn't see any result that came out.
Look at the result down here now. Look at the result here.
Okay. And before now.
Yeah, look at data 1. This is data 1, right?
Okay, let me see data 1.
See the result.
Okay,
here.
okay.
So I want to pivot it. So I will take
this
A, this B, and this C,
Okay.
along with their values.
Okay. Okay. So you say stack of data 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So can we see how easy it is here? So it means that while you are doing your transformation, people can be following it step by step what you have done. And they can replicate exactly the same thing you have done. Okay, so that is how to stack, to do what your pivot, to unpivot your data. So to unpivot data, we are going to use what? Stack. Are we clear with this? But you see that, for example, let's look at this, for example. You see here we have values and we have the index there, right? You see we have the values and we have the index. Assuming these values now, I want to call these values maybe the score. I want the values to be the score. Then I want to use that index. I want to call it what now? Let me call it the group. Okay, I want the score. I want the word group. Okay. So in that case, what can we do? We can simply call, let's call it, okay, let's call it in data. Okay, let's call it data 3 now. Now, what we are going to do here. So what we want to do, we want to rename the default name to a specific name. Okay. So what I want to do here, I want to what? Rename the default name to a specific name. Okay. So what we have here, we have something called names. It's called names. Okay. Names of what? Data what now? Which data is this? Data 2, right? Is that data 2? So names of
Yes.
data 2. Now I want to
Data two.
specify. So watch this now. Watch this now. I want to specify where names of data 2 is equals to what? Is equals to what? Let's say values. Is it what? Is equals to what? Values. Read it what we have done here. Where the names of data 2 is equals to what? Values.
Value.
I want to assign it to what? Let me call it what? Score. Let me call it what? Score. Okay, score. Let me call it score. Can you see that now? So anyway, I see values, I want to call it what? Score. So let me run that. If I run data 3, what do I expect to see now? What do I expect to see? If I run data 3 now, what do I expect to see? I should see what? I should see what?
Score.
The values will become score.
The value should
The
become
heading of the heading of the table will become.
It's called
where
score,
you have-
but I want everything now. But I want everything. But I want everything.
Okay. You want to call the entire data as
Yes.
the start. Okay, I see.
Okay, it should become score. Okay, now let's look at it. So let's look at it. So we have names, isn't it? Names what? Data 2. Where that names data 2 is what? Values, right? So let's now if you have it as quotation mark, so let me use single quotation mark. Let's see now. Let's use single quotation mark and see. Okay, so let's run it and check again. So let me run that. Let's check now. Is it giving me score? So what is happening there? It's still giving me score. Okay, now let's look at it. Let's look at another way. Let me run it again. So look at this. So if I say names, data, isn't it? Where that names of data, names, data, right? Where that names data is equals to what? Values, assign it as what? Score. Okay, but if it doesn't work that way, so let's say data 3. So let's say if I want to view data 3, I can also say view, let's say data 3. This is another way of also viewing. Let's say data 3. Do we have data 3 there? Do we have data 3?
No.
No,
we don't
just
have
data
data.
We don't have data 3. We don't have data 3. Okay, so let's look at it again. So let's look at data 2. So this is what I want now, right? So I want to ensure that this name, but can you see it has changed? Can you see that it has changed?
Yeah.
Can you see that has changed? So the only thing I was doing here was just to assign everything I want here, put it in what? Data 3. Which means if I don't want to assign, you know what the problem was? I was assigning this to this guy, isn't it? After I finish this, I will now assign this guy to this guy. Do you see what has happened there? That was why it was giving me data 3 as what? Score. Because this is an assignment, this is also what? An assignment. So which means if I just want to name it, what will I do? I will just only use this. So what I was trying to show you there, that you can actually what? Assign in double. After I've done with this one, take whatever result it is and put it there. So in this one where I have what? Index, I will change it to what now? Let me change it to what? Group. Let me change it to what? Group. But remember, it's in data 2, isn't it? So let me run that. So let's go to what? Data 2. And run it there. So let's check. So can we see score and group? Can we see score and group now? So we have changed what? Name. Okay? We have changed the name. But you see, most time we don't always work like this. Because most time we need to import the data sets. Now, this was a situation where, for example, the data was already unstructured. So we want to put it in a what? Structured form. Why this is important is that you need to understand how the data will be structured to analyze it. Because there are some certain times we need to structure it this way to analyze. Sometimes we need to work on pivot or pivot the data to analyze. So that's what I'm just trying to show you. So most times, this data that you are using will usually come from either an Excel file or a CSV file. Okay. Okay, let me share a file with you guys. Let me share this one. Arrow survey. Let me see. Do I have it open? Okay, I have it open. So let me close. So arrow survey. So let me share it. So check the chat. Can we see anything on the chat?
Yes, it's there.
Can you see the file on the chat? So if you have seen it, for those who cannot see, somebody can share on the WhatsApp group or somewhere. Now let's go back to that file. Let's look at that file. Can you see my Excel screen?
Yes, sir.
Can you see my Excel screen?
Yes, we can see it, sir.
All right, great. Now imagine that you are doing a customer survey, right? Across maybe 3 regions, maybe US, UK, Nigeria. Can you see that? So you have already done your survey, isn't it? So you have got your data this way. You have got your data this way. Okay, so you want to analyze it. If you're in Excel, how will you have analyzed it in Excel? If you want to analyze this in Excel, how will you do it in Excel?
Use pivot table.
Use pivot table.
Pivot table, is it not? And pivot table is what we want analyze everything we want from you. Okay, good. So you have used pivot table. Good. So we notice again that we have 3 sheets: UK, US, and Nigeria. What is the first sheet? The first sheet is what?
US.
US. So take note of that.
Yeah.
The first sheet is US. And another thing again you must understand is that you must also know the kind of data you are importing. What's the difference between an Excel file and a CSV file? What's the difference?
CSV can only show one sheet.
Do you agree with that?
Exchange has only one sheet. Excel
Which
has
means if
multiple
I
sheets.
save this file as a CSV file, what will happen?
To only save the sheet you are on.
Only the sheet that you are on, the other sheet disappear. Okay. So that one, so let's go to R. Let's try and import it in R. Okay. I'll show you the hard way. I will show you the easy way. Okay. Now, when I want to import data, I hope I'm on my arrow screen now.
Yeah.
I'm in the arrow screen, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I want to import data, right? So what I'm going to do, I will need to know where the data is located. The file the data is located, isn't it? But because it's an Excel file, I will need to call a library. So when I want to run a library, I'll call the library. You know, in Python, we would have said import maybe pandas, you know, as PD. I think that's how we do it. Import pandas as PD. Do we remember that in Python? Import pandas as PD. Do we remember this?
Yes, sir.
Good. So those who remember, who are used to Python. But in R, you just say library. What library do I want to run? I want to read Excel. Read R is what? Read R is for what? Read R is for
Read
what?
only. Read only.
Read R is what? It's for read CSV file. This is
Okay.
what? Read Excel file.
Okay.
Is that clear? So if I say read Excel, so because it's an Excel file, now I'm going to read Excel. So I'll run it. Can you see that? If I don't run this, it will give me error. So I must first of all call the library called read Excel. Okay. Now I want to run it in a data called US. I want to assign it to US data. Okay. US data. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, read Excel. Can you see that? These are the syntax here. Can you see the parts? The sheets. So watch now. What's the part? What's the part? Where is the file located? Where is the file located? So let me share my screen so that you see it. Where is the file located? Now look at it now. This is on my desktop, right? This is on my desktop. Then if I go to R, can you see it now? It's on my desktop. I'll say, okay, this is the file here, RXL. Can you see that now? So I've located the file. What do I do next? I'll come here to say copy paths. Can you see that? Copy paths. I hope you know what we are doing though. We are just going to locate it where the file is found and copy the path out. Is that okay? So let's go back.
Yes.
Let's go back. Now that I know where the file is located, I will paste it. Have you seen it? I will paste it. Now take notes, take notes, take notes. R does not understand this file location like this. It doesn't understand file location like this, because if I run it like, it's going to give me an error. So instead, what does he understand? He understands /. So you are going to change that part to what? A /. Can we see that? If you like, do this from today to tomorrow, it will still be giving you what? Error. So if you understand this one, so if I run it now, have you seen it has worked now? Have you seen it has worked now? So once you find the location, you need to now what? Change this one to what? /. So that's the way it understands it. Clear?
No, please, can you take that again, please?
Okay. We said if you want to import data, right? Import, we want to what? Import Excel file, isn't it? So to import this Excel file, what do we first do? We need to call the library called read Excel. Is that okay? Now I want to read the Excel file, but I must know the file where the file is located. I must know where the file is what? Located. Okay. So once I locate the file, I will copy that part and come here and paste it. But we are saying that R by default does not understand this /. Can you see all this /? It doesn't understand them. Rather, what you understand is what? The /. So that's why we have to change it to what? A /. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Now remember, we are assigning it. We have collected this data. We are importing the data now, isn't it? We are assigning it to this variable called US. So if I run US now, you remember that in that file we had 3 sheets. What are the 3 sheets we had? What are the 3 sheets we had?
US, UK, and Nigeria.
US, UK. Which one was first?
US.
US.
By default now, let's check which data is this?
US.
US. So by default, it will bring in the first one. Assuming I wanted UK, how will I now get UK? So read Excel, is it not? I'll paste the parts, is it not? Now, what if I want UK now? What will I do?
It's comma sheet equals to UK, I guess.
Comma sheet equals to what? UK. Exactly how it was typed. Was it in lowercase or uppercase? If I write it in lowercase, let us see. If I write in lowercase, let us see. It must be exactly the way it's typed there, because remember, R is extremely case sensitive. So if I run that, it says UK not found. But if I use capital letters, UK, and I run it now, let's check. If I run it now, let's say UK. UK. Let's check now. Is it there now?
Yes.
Is it there now? Now, if I want to see it like it was in Excel, what will I do? I'll type view UK. View UK. Now look at it. You open on that sheet. Can you see that it's now like in Excel? Can you see that now? That is like in Excel.
Dr. Francis, that command you gave for UK was in small letters. It doesn't matter.
Which one?
The second 107.
This one here.
Yes.
It's not that it doesn't matter. It's the way
Okay,
you
it
have
has
taken your
recognized
variable.
it as okay.
Yes.
Okay, I
The
get
way you
it.
call the variable, yes.
Okay.
Now I say to avoid looking for problem, write everything lowercase. So you will not have problem. Okay. So if I want to bring Nigeria, how will I bring Nigeria now? So Nigeria will be what? Read what? Excel, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
paste the parts. The sheet
Equals to Nigeria.
equals to what? Nigeria. Nigeria, isn't it? So let's run that and see. So if I call Nigeria, so if I say view Nigeria, run it now, let us see. View Nigeria. Why is this error here?
The N is uppercase, it's supposed to be lower.
Can you see that R is extremely case sensitive? Okay, good. So I have to put here a small word in Nigeria. So let's run that. So can we see that now? Now, another thing again we must take note of here, especially when we have this data in that structure. Now, do you notice that I created a column called country? You notice I created a column called countries, you know, so I can easily identify the country. Imagine that that country was not there. How will I now know which is which? Do you get that? How will I now know which is which? So that's why the essence of that. So you look at Nigeria repeated all through as if it was redundant. Did you notice that? But that country has what? A role to play. Imagine now that I want to combine all of them. It means I want to have US, UK, and what? Nigeria in one sheet. How we have done it in Excel? In one sheet, how we have done it in Excel? If I want to combine them in one sheet, how will I have done it in Excel?
You copy and paste them.
You'll be copying and pasting. So imagine you had like 10 sheets or 100 sheets. How will you have done that? 10 sheets or 100 sheets, how will you have done that?
Same thing, you copy and paste.
100 times. Isn't it? You copy and paste 100
You have
times.
been hard.
Eh? You'd have been what?
Difficult.
Okay, it would have been difficult, right, to do that. So that is where you now see that where data is now large, you see where programming now makes life a bit more easier.
Yes.
Okay, good. So far, I hope I helped you up to this point.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, now let me now show you.
Dr. Francis, sorry.
Yes,
I
yes.
tried to replicate what you did the first time when you did a range, but it's giving me an error. Please, can you go up so I'll just see what you did?
Which one?
A equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That range you did.
Okay, here.
Yes. Okay, I see what I did wrong. The space.
The space, okay, yes. Please avoid spacing. Do not do this. I told you that this is not like an essay. So be very careful with this one. And that I say the way you have errors, that is where you actually learn. You now learn what not to do. Okay, what not to do. All right, so this is the more difficult way of importing data. So let me show you an easy way of doing it. And this is the essence of why you are using what they call your Arrow Studio. Okay, now look at this. On this section now, can you see what we have environments? Can we see files? Can you see that? So all these are the files you have been using. So if I come to environment, can you see what they say? Import data sets. Can you see import
Yes.
data sets?
Yeah.
So click import data sets. What file do I want to import?
From Excel.
From Excel.
Excel. So I'll say from Excel. Now take note. You notice he's already writing code for you. Do you see that it's writing the code
Yes.
for you here? So this is the code.
Yes.
You're doing for you. All right. So we want to select the file. So I'll go to the path. So it is on my desktop. So maybe R. So that's the folder R. And the file was called R survey, isn't it? R survey. Open. Preview. Can you see that? That's previewed it now. Now, do you see the sheet
Yes.
now? By default, the first sheet is what US. If I want the next one, so if I say US, it will specify it there. If I say UK, it will specify it there. Okay, it will specify it there. Or if I say Nigeria, it will specify it there for me. Can you see that now? So let's say I want to bring in Nigeria. Okay, so what do? I'll just say import. Watch this. I'll just say import. Now, but can you read this script now? What it's doing there for you? Can you read it? Will you understand what it's doing here?
It's the same one. It's the same thing you have
It's
typed.
the same thing that we have done, only that it's doing automatically for you. So I'll just click import. And that's my data now. But remember, what variable is it called?
R survey.
R survey. But this was the one we did manually called Nigeria, but here it's called R survey. So have you seen how the easy way and the long way of doing it?
So you can't view like the 3 countries at once.
So that's the limitation there. So that's the limitation there. So you have to switch it one by one to check default. Then if you want a specific range of columns to bring or data, you can also do that there. Okay. But you have to bring them one after the other. So now imagine I want to now combine all of them together as one. Okay. Now before we go there are certain things we want to do. Because to carry out more advanced analysis, we will need libraries, certain libraries. Okay. And as data analysts, 2 important libraries that we need. One is called tidyverse. One is called tidyverse. Can you see it here? Tidyverse.
Yes.
One is called tidyverse. Okay. Now, if I run it library tidyverse, now in my own case it will run. In your own case, it may not run because it's not installed. So it means if I have any package I want to run, so depending on the analysis you want to carry out, if the library is not there, it means you have to install it. So what do I use? I'll use install.what packages. In Python, how do we install packages, libraries?
Pip install.
Pip install, exactly. So here we'll call it what? Install.packages. Then I will call the name of the package and install it. Okay. So because mine is already run, so I'll don't need to run it again. So I'll just put hashtag there. Another important library again we want to import is called, so library is called deep layer. Deep layer. Can you see that? For data manipulation. Can you see that now? Deep layer. So I'll run that again. So these are 2 important libraries you are going to need as data analyst. If you don't have it, what do you do? If you don't have it, what do you do?
Install it.
How do I install? Install.packages.
Okay.
Is it not? What's the name of the package?
Tidyverse.
Or this other one is deep layer. Is it not? Deep layer. Like this. So I'll just install it this way. Install.packages. Now, again, it depends on your version. Okay, it depends on your version. Some versions, when you are installing, it will tell you that you cannot install this because there are some dependencies. That means this library also requires other libraries to work. Just like Pandas requires NumPy to work. So it means that you tell you the library to install first. So you just look at the library and go and install it. So you can even install 2-3 libraries before even this library will work. Some you may be lucky just one library just install. Some you may be 2-3 to have them together. Okay. So it depends on how advanced you want to get. Are we clear with this now?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear with this? Good. Now in your deep layer, there's something called piping. There's a term we call piping. It's called piping. This is the piping. So this is where like your analysis with R is a bit different because it has its own unique language. It's called piping. So what piping is doing is something like this. Can you see that this piping? How do we just like say, and then what next should I do? Shortcut is Ctrl+Shift+M. So if I want to pipe is what? Ctrl+Shift+M to pipe. So this is shortcut. So piping simply means and then. So after I do this and then what should I do? That's what it simply means. Okay, so let's look at it now. So let's say for example I have which one now? Okay, let's look at you. Okay, let's look at Nigeria. Right? Let's look at Nigeria. So let's run that Nigeria. So let's look at the data now. Now I want to select, let's say I want to select one, let's see, question 1, question 2, question. I want to select only 3 questions. Question 1, question 2, question 3. You know, normally in your Python, if you have to do this in Python, how we have done it in Python? You'd have put what? Question 1, question 2, question 3. Is this how you'd have done it in Python?
Yes, sir.
Question 1, question 2, question 3. You just select like this. In R, it does not work that way. It doesn't work that way. Okay. So what I'm going to do, so maybe I'll call it in a new variable. Let's say Q. Let me call it Q for questions. Okay. So first of all, I want to go and select the data. Where is the data found? The data is found in where? Nigeria. And then what should I do? Can you see that? And then select. What do I want to select? Question 1, question 2, and what? Question what? Question 3. Okay, so let me run that now. So if I say view Q, what do you expect me to see now? View Q. What do you expect to see now?
You see Q1, Q2, 3.
Question 1, 2, 3. Is that not question 1, 2, 3? So can you see how it works? Can you see how it works? Okay, can you see how it works? It's just like again. Let's see. So this is called the piping. So have you seen how piping works now? Have you seen how it works now?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, great. Now there's another way again you can also do it. There's another way again you can do it. For example, let me call it. So it means if I say Q, maybe here can be Q3, here can be Q5 or Q5. So let me run this again. So let me run Q and check. So we can see it's question 1, question 3, question 5. Another way again I can do it, and that way again I can do it. Watch this. You know the data is found in Nigeria, isn't it? It's found in Nigeria, isn't it? So let me do this. So I want to get question 1, 3, and 5. I want to get question 1, 3, and 5. So watch what I will do now. Remember how we used to combine? We combine, is it not? We want to combine it, isn't it? So I want to combine question what? Question 1, question 3, and question what? 5. So what I will do, I'll call it Nigeria. I will now use what? $sign Q1. Do you understand this now? The data, match it with the column name. That's what this $sign is doing for you. So if I want to get question 3, what will I do? Nigeria, $sign, match it with question what? 3, comma, Nigeria, match it with what? Question what? 5. You remember when we use this one to combine everything? So let's run. Let's say view question what? 135.
135.
135. So let's run that. Can we see that we have exactly the same thing? But now
Yeah,
you
but
went to
change
call
to
it.
V1, V2.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the difference now. So that's the advantage of now using it. So you now have to go and change the name. But I don't want us to go through that process again. So rather, it is better you use this one to bring in the data as it is. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Now, another thing again we can also do, for example, okay, now I want to combine. So do you understand what? Okay, maybe I'll show you how to filter. You know in Excel, you know how you can filter in Excel? You know how to filter in Excel?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. So let's say, for example, I want to look for those. So let's look at the data again. Let's look at Nigeria. Let's say view Nigeria. So let me run that. Sorry, view Nigeria. So let's look at this now. I want to select the data where question 1, let's say it's 3. And let's say where question 1 is just 3. I'm looking for the ones that only said, okay, let's say strongly agree, strongly agree. You know, in questionnaire, 1 is disagree, strongly disagree, 2 is disagree, 3 is undecided or neutral, isn't it? 4 is agree, why 5 is what? Strongly what?
Agree.
Strongly what? Agree. So let's do that. So let's look at how we can achieve that. So it means that from that data, it was in Excel. How would I have done it? I would have gone to filter, is it not? And click on what? On check 1, 2, 3, and just check only 3. So let's see how we can do that in R. So let's say, for example, so let's call it, so let me just assign it to data. Okay. So I'll say Nigeria. So the data is in Nigeria. And then what should I do? And then select what now? So if I press my tab, it will just bring it like in Excel, isn't it? So I select question 1, question what? Question 1, question what?
Question 3. Question 3.
Question 5.
Question 1. Question 3. And what?
Question 5.
Question 5. Can we see that? So this one, what will it do? It's going to what? Pick question 1, question 3, question 5. Do we want to do any other thing? Do we want to do another thing?
What's the one to filter?
Want to filter, and then can you see that now? And then can you see that? And then what should I do? And then filter. And then what? Filter. What do I want to filter? Where question 1, is it not? Question 1 is what? equal to what?
1.
Okay, 1 means, okay, let's say is equals to what? Let's say 1, right? That means those people that said strongly what disagree. Let us select those that say strongly disagree. Oh yeah, let's run it and check. So let's say data. So if I say view data, what do I expect to see here? View data. What do I expect to see here?
Check the ones that have 1. Ask question.
All of them should give me 1. In which one? Is it in all of them?
No, just in question 1.
In question 1, is it not? In question 1. So let's run that and check. So can we see that if we know it's correct, that everything in question 1 should be what? 1.
1.
Let's do another one. Assume I say, let us find out those who agree. So that means it's 4 and above, is it not? So let's do it again. So let's call it data 2 now. Okay, Nigeria. Okay, so that's the data in Nigeria. And then what do I want to do?
Select.
Select the
Select.
questions.
So let's say I want to select. So let's put all of them. Let's say question 1, question what? 2, question what? 3, question 4, question what? 5, isn't it? So let's say 5 questions. What do I want to do? And then what should I do?
Filter.
And then filter what? Where what? Question 1 is greater than 4.
Greater than 4.
So that means where it's greater than 4, what will it tell me there? It will give me what? 4 and what? 5, isn't it? 4 and 5. So let's run that.
4.
Yes, agree. Agree is 4. So that means agree or strongly agree.
Oh, so if it's greater than 4, it will show 4. It will only show 5.
It will show 4, yeah.
Okay, so that means in that case, it's going to really be 5. So let's check it now. All right, let's check it now. So view data 2 now. Let's say view data 2 now. Let's check it. So you understand why it's now 5, isn't it? So it means it's supposed to be what? Greater than or equal to, isn't it? Greater than or equals to what? 4.
Right.
So that means it can give me 4, it can give me 5 there.
Right.
Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
What if you want to arrange that Q1 in ascending or descending order?
What do you mean ascending or descending order?
Like the column for question 1, you know, the 4, 5 was not, they are not.
Yes, no, you can, no, you can, no, you are the one that will specify how it's going to be.
Okay.
You are the one that will specify how. Okay, you mean in the data itself? You want to sort it?
The data itself, yeah. Yes.
If you want to sort it, just click on it and it will sort itself.
Oh, okay.
If I come here, I click here, to just sort itself. Can you see that that column has been sorted out? Look at this, look at column 5. It's not arranged. If I want to sort it, what do I do? I'll just click here to sort it out. Can you see that? So
Yes,
to sort that column there, yeah. So if I go and sort this one now, can you see that? If I go and sort this one now, I go and sort this one now. Okay, so that's what it's doing there. Now imagine now I want to now specify that, you know what? Give me question 4, where question 4 is greater than, where question 1 is greater than 4. But in question 4, or let's say question 3, they all disagreed. They disagreed. So where question 1 they agreed, and question what? 3 they had what? Disagreed. So what we do now? So what do we now do?
Can do data 3.
Okay, okay, let's do data 3. Okay, data 3. Yes.
Yes,
So, Nigeria.
And then select. Question 1, question 2, question 3.
Okay. Now let's just say I want just question 1 and question 2. Let's just do question 1, question 3, right? But we want to select specific. So let's say question 1 and question 2, right? Let's say question 1 and question 2, okay? And then what do I want to do?
Filter.
I want to filter. Is it not? What do I want to filter?
Question 1
Where question 1 is what?
is equal to 1.
So I want question 1, they all agree. Question 1, they agreed. Question 2, they disagreed.
Question 1 is equal to 4.
Will be less or equal to 4. Greater or equal to 4. Sorry.
Greater than or equals to 4, that means they have agreed. You know, when you are doing your scaling, you know, you have strongly agree,
Okay, yeah.
undecided, disagree, strongly disagree. So this will be what? 5, 5 what? 5, 4,
4, 3, 2, 1.
1, exactly. So that's what we have there, isn't it? Now we want to say and, you know, if you are doing it in your SQL, how would you have done it in SQL? We would have said and, right? Is it and would do?
Uppercase
And what?
question 2 is less than or equals to 2.
And question 2. So the disagreement is less than 3. So that means it's 2 or 1. Is it not? So it's less than what? 3. So you see, before you build anything, you must be clear on how the rule is working. Because once you have missed that, that means you are going to be writing the wrong syntax. Okay? So you must be clear. So read through it now. Do we understand what we are trying to achieve? Do you understand what we are trying to achieve?
Yes.
Go through. Do you understand what we are trying to achieve there?
Yes, but that bracket is not going to affect it. The one after.
Now we are going to look at that. We are going to look at that. We are going to look at that. You know, normally when you are doing the bracket, everything has to be what? Open and close, isn't it? Whenever I open, I must also what? Close. Okay? If I open, I must also what? Close. So if I look at that, what do I have there? I have opened this, isn't it? Now I have to what? Close it. Now the only difference now is that you see this and you will not use this and you will use your what? Upper hand. Can you see that? You will use your what? Upper hand. Okay, so let's run it now. So view. So let's view what? View data what? 3. Can we see that now? So we have now what? Specified what we want. We have now specified what we want. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear with this?
Yes, I am.
Great. Now, this is just for Excel file. So if it was a CSV file, what we use? If it was a CSV file, what will we use? If it was imagine it was a CSV file.
Read R and import.
It will be what? Read what?
R.
Read R. Read R. Okay. So we'll call it library. So to read a CSV file, okay, so let's do that. So library read R. Okay, so let's run that. Read R. Okay, so let's say, for example, which data do I have that is? You guys have that Superstore data, right? Okay, let me say cost. Okay, Superstore. Let's see whether that will work. Okay, Superstore CSV. So let me copy the path. You know how I'm copying the path now, isn't it? So I'll just call here, let me just call it store. Would that be okay? Let me call it store. Then what do I do next? What do I do next?
They read out.
Read R like this. Like we have read Excel. Do we have read R?
No, we have not without the underscore.
Okay, read R like this.
Yeah.
So for CSV files, what you will do, you know, for Excel, that will be read Excel, isn't it? Now for R, it will be read.csv. Can you see that? Read.csv. Then what do I do next? I will make sure now I now change this one from here. I'll change the backslash to a forward slash. I'll change from a backslash to what? A forward slash. So now say, let's say view store. Can you see now? Can you see that your data you have in Excel? Can you see that's been brought in now?
Yeah.
Can you see that it has been brought in now? So which means I can easily what? Navigate my data. Okay, I can easily navigate my data. For example, if I want to check, for example, okay, let me see the names that I have, maybe the names of my column. So I'll say names store. Can you see all the names you have in your column names? Isn't it? Let me see the ones that are strings or this thing. So string, let's say store. Can you see how the data types are? The ones that are strings, to bring it out for you. The ones that are numeric, to bring it out for you. Can you see that now? If I want to check the number of rows, so number of rows for store. Number of rows. Can you see number of rows? So if I want to see number of columns, store. Number of columns for store. Can you see that? Number of what? Columns. Okay. So that's exactly how we want to look at it. Now remember what we wanted to do. We wanted to combine that our data set. It's not US, UK, and Nigeria. I want to bring all of them into one sheet. Like I want to consolidate them. I think that's what we wanted to do. Isn't it? That's what we wanted to do. Okay. So let's look at it now. Let's look at it now. So I have US, I have UK, I have Nigeria. So these are the data sets I have there. So this is Nigeria, this is US, this is UK. Now, assuming I did not have this column that specifies country. So I want everything to be in one sheet like this. So we have Nigeria, US, everything. Assuming I did not have this column called country now, it means I'll just have question 1 to 6. That means when it combines them together, how will I know where US ends and where Nigeria ends? How will I have known that? Will it have been possible for you to know it?
No.
Can you see why sometimes this kind of columns will help you? To now help you what? Aggregate them or separate them. Okay? So I want to what? Have them in form of what? A what? An on-pivot structure, isn't it? Like a stack structure. So what we are going to do now, because it's an Excel file, so let me just call it country. So let's call it country. So this is an Excel file, isn't it? So first of all, we'll go and read the Excel sheets. Can you see that Excel sheets? Now, if you read the documentation there, so if I type Excel sheets, so when you press your tab, it will be telling you what is happening there. So let's say Excel sheets. Most time it will pop out Excel sheets. Now look at it. Excel sheets. Now, if you look at, can you see list all sheets in an Excel spreadsheet? That is the reason why we are using it. So go into that sheet, give me every sheet in that place. So that is why that we're using that. Okay. So we need to specify where is the file path. Where is the file path? So let me go and copy that file path. So this is the file path, isn't it? So where is the file path? I will go and copy the file path. So this is the file path there. Okay. What do we want to do next? And then what do? We want to map it in form of what? A data frame. Okay. Now, this is now where a little bit technical now, right? What we want to do, we want to map, we don't want to map, we want to map everything. Can you see that? We want to map everything. So I'm going to use this symbol. You know where this symbol is found? This is your ellipse symbol. If you look at your escape button, you know this symbol. Do you know where to find this symbol? Do you know where to find this symbol? On your keyboard, do you know where to find it?
Yes.
Yes.
Under the escape button.
Under the escape button, exactly. Okay. So, and then what do I want to? I want to read what? The Excel file. Read what? The Excel file. Now, the Excel file is XLS. Is it XLS or XLSX? Okay, XLSX. Read that Excel file. Where is it found? In this part. Okay. So give me everything. So I'll just put a comma and full stop. That's all. So give me what? Everything there. Give me everything there. So let's confirm that all our brackets are up. So open, close, open, close, open, close. All right. So that's fine. So I think we can run this now. Let's check. Good. So if I type view country, that's it. So I have everything. So how will I know it's correct now? I have US. So if I check next, the next sheet should be what? The next sheet should be what?
UK.
UK. Is it not? The next sheet should be what? UK. After UK is what? After UK is what?
Nigeria.
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 So can you see the essence of why this column country was important? Otherwise, we would have just had it like this. We cannot separate UK from what? Nigeria. You'll all be one. But if that's what you wanted, then that's fine. So even if I have 100 sheets with this line of code, I will easily what? Combine the 100 sheets. Can you see that now? So this is where you see statistical programming in terms of data manipulation. Remember again, I tell you, I don't need to cram this code. I just need to understand how it works. So what you will just need to do to combine, you just be writing them somewhere, to combine all sheets to one, isn't it? I'll just type it. So anytime I want to, I'll just go to where I have that code. I'll just copy it or look for it on Google. Look for how somebody has done it. Copy it, come and put it and edit it. That's all. But this is just for you to know how it works. That is important for you to understand how it works. Okay? Because if I was just typing all these things, straightforward, it would look as if it's very complex. So that's why we try to start breaking it down gradually so that you understand how to read them. Okay? I hope this is clear.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, can I ask you a question? Okay,
Yes,
my
go
question
ahead.
is, okay, let's say that the way each of the sheets in that Excel was arranged was the columns are not arranged in the same way. Maybe in Nigeria they had question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other one starts from 5, you know, and all that. Is there a way? Can this work and then arrange them in the right way?
Let's look at it. You say, for example, give the example here. Let's see.
Okay, the example is that let's say that Nigeria, what we have is respondent. Let's say what we have is respondent question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then country, right?
Maybe, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the country, right?
And
okay, I get what you are saying. So they are not in the same structure.
Okay, now is yeah.
So that means when you have Nigeria there, it's going to be blank there for question, maybe question 6, you will be blank.
No. You didn't. I don't think you got. Maybe I'm not asking it right. Let's say this. You know, these columns are arranged exactly the same way for each of the sheets, right? But let's say that the first.
You know what? Just hold on. Let me see what else. Let's go to Excel. So here what you are saying now, isn't it? So let's say Nigeria, what are you saying now? So in Nigeria, you don't have question 6.
Okay, so Nigeria, let's say Nigeria, this column A actually moves to, so this column B is the column A, and the column A moves to the last end.
Okay.
So you have,
so that means they were not in the
question
same.
1, 2,
So
3,
let's say
4.
this one now will be here.
Yes,
And
something
you now have it like
that.
this.
Yes.
Okay, that
Yes.
means they don't match exactly.
Yes.
So something like this, isn't it?
Yes.
Or
yes.
maybe this one will now have maybe question. Let's say this one will have question 2 here, and this one have question 3 here. Something like this.
Yes. Yes.
This one, the enemies are.
And then it is different for all the other sheets.
Okay, and all the other sheets now have different
ways.
That is when the enemies are really at work. So let me say,
Okay.
survey 1. So let's try it. So let's say, for example, now this guy now, the enemies now put this one here, isn't it?
Mm.
Let's run that. Let's say for US, we now have country here. We now have country here. Let's say this question 1 is now moved somewhere here. Something like this.
Yeah, something like that. Yes, yes.
That means they are really after you. All right, let's check.
They're after me like this all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Always. Let's check.
All right.
Now, if you have done it in Power Query will pick it and match it for you. I think did we illustrate in Power Query?
No.
Power Query, when we are doing was it append? I think when we're doing append. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, now so let's go. So the name of this file is arrow1, right? I think that's what I saved the file as, arrow1. Yes, survey 1. I saved it as arrow1, isn't it? So I've changed the file to arrow1. So let us run and check. So let me call it country1. Is that okay? Country. I hope you understand what I've done. Do you understand what I've done? So
yes,
before it was R, I resaved the file as arrow1. I resaved that same file as arrow1. So that's why I'm putting one there. Okay. That's why I came here to change it again, arrow1. So I want to map it to country1. So let me run it and check. So let's run and check. Now you see what has happened. It says file paths. Okay, let me go there and copy the file path again. But that file path should have. Okay, I saved it in desktop.
You saved it in a different way.
Okay, I saved it in the desktop. Okay, let me go there. Let me go there and check it. So I saved that one in desktop. Arrow1. Okay, let me copy it and go and keep it in that folder. And that lists on that thing. That's why you see that most times you will have what they call a working directory. A working directory where you are going to save all your documents. So I've copied it back. I copied that file to this thing. I've copied it back to this location. So let me try it now. So let me run that. So it has run now, isn't it? So let me go to country1 now. So remember I had scattered it, isn't it? So I expect that if I run it now, let's look at it now. Let's look at it now. Did it arrange it now? You know what it has done? So let's check where the problem is now. Did he pick it? Did he pick it?
I think he did. Because the total number of rows are.
He picked it, right?
Yes.
So he went to each of the column names and matched it with that first sheet.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes.
He picked that first sheet and match it. So country, can I see country? Oh, but country was in like the 10th column. Bring it here, don't worry, since this is the leader, bring it here, put it there. Question 1 was the last in sheet 1, and match it there for me. So can you see that? It will what?
Yeah.
Pick it and what? Match it exactly for you. So imagine you had 100 sheets with this type of problem. So can you see where the advantage of using what? R or Python now comes over than Excel?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just a simple line of, yes, please.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What if I want to match Q1 in each of the country and consolidate, as you said, I want to consolidate the number to say UK, US, Nigeria, consolidate the numbers together.
Oh, that's like adding up, right? Like add up.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You know what we are still doing? We have not gotten into analysis yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we have not got into that. So I don't want to, all I want to just show is how to do your data manipulation first. How you first structure the data. Because if the data is not ready for analysis, you can't start the analysis.
Thank you, sir.
You see that? So that one is like you're consolidating. We want to now add up. So if I get your question now, so everywhere I see US, UK, and Nigeria, add up question 4.
Correct.
Is it not? So just like summing it up.
Correct.
Is that not what we are saying? Yes. So I think when we get to, we can show you, I'll show you how to add up columns, how to add up the columns. Okay. So we'll do all that. We'll do all that. But again, what I actually explain is actually like a pivot table. Where you have UK, US, Nigeria, sum them up. So give you the sum of US, UK, and now give you everything. Okay. But for now, what we are just doing is how to structure your data, because you are going to be working with different Excel sheets. Hey, for those who are just joining us for programming for the first time, I hope it's not so scary.
It is, Dr. Francis.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Wonderful.
It's interesting. Well,
Yes. Normally, I cannot. If this is your first time, I normally cannot teach R as your first programming language. It will not be a very nice experience. It will not be a nice experience. So that's why it's better you learn SQL first or Python before you go into R. Okay. But what you must always understand is that before you do anything, first of all, ask yourself, if I was to do it in Excel, how would I have done it in Excel? Okay, now I know what I will do in Excel. The reason why you're now coming here is that where the data is so large that Excel cannot handle, how can I now do it? So think about Excel first, then before you come and think about how it's done in R. Okay? But please take note, if you do not practice this, what we have done today, even just to import data, I can guarantee you by tomorrow, this thing will, not tomorrow, before you sleep and wake up, it has disappeared. So please try and practice, okay? Try and practice what we have done, okay? So when we see next week, we'll continue from there, okay? So thank you very much. So let me go and join last
thank you,
session.
Doctor.
Thank you,
All
Dr.
right, take care, guys. All right.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You said what?
Have a great week ahead.
Okay, you too. Thank you. So what I'll do, I'll copy this code for you on the chat.
Okay, that would be great. Yeah.
So let me copy it on the chat so I don't lose this. So
On WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp, yes. On WhatsApp, okay.
Can you put it on Zoom as well, please?
Okay, on Zoom.
Please.
Zoom, we are logging out now.
Yeah,
We
not
get
everyone is in the
Not
WhatsApp.
everyone. If I put it, not everyone is
Okay.
on WhatsApp. Oh, that's true. Okay, what will happen is that at least people have the IJ's number now.
Yes.
So just message IJ to send it to you.
Who's IJ?
All right.
IJ.
Our leader.
President.
Okay.
Okay, Moses. Moses.
Yes, sir.
Moses, can you drop your number so that they can reach out to you?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, just drop your number so they can reach out to you so that you help them.
Moses, congratulations.
For what? I will see forward them to IJ.
You forward to IJ or whoever, so they can reach out to you and get the codes back. All right, so quickly just take his number so that he can send to you.
Okay.
Okay, have we got the number now?
I have.
All right, guys, thank you very much. So I'll paste it in the chat and from there. Take care.
Okay.
All right,
Have a
thank you.
great day.
Bye.
The first number that I sent is not correct, so I've sent the correct one. So for those that are still here, you want to pick it.
Okay,
You
thank
don't
you.
even know your number offhand.
Wale, I know you will talk.
What kind of thing is this now? How can you make anything you come in? Please don't try this again. This is not LBS standard. Thank
I
you.
don't know this number of Bandu, but it's my WhatsApp number. I only use it for WhatsApp. No, to collect, yeah.
What is up there? Daddy, yes. Daddy. Oh yes, I'm not even bring down the ant stickers.
Yes, I have a book. Yes, handbook.